Shoot 'em ups are without a doubt my all-time favorite genre of video games. Throughout the vast majority of my life, I have played plenty of spaceship shooters. R-Type, Raiden, Gradius, Strike Gunner STG, Dononpachi, and plenty of others. During the 32-64-bit era, shoot 'em ups were still surfacing the scene, but it was more common on a home console if you namely had a Sega Saturn or a PlayStation 1. Hell, even in the arcades, it was still a popular genre. The Nintendo 64, however, did happen to receive a shoot 'em up gem known as Star Soldier: Vanishing Earth, released in December 1998 around the holiday season, and developed by Hudson Soft. This game also happens to be an arcade game released by SETA Corporation and Nintendo using the Alex 64 hardware, but it was actually well known on the N64 console. Games like this are very uncommon to surface on this platform anyway. As far as the Alex 64 hardware goes, it is actually the arcade-based hardware system that utilizes the same capability of the Nintendo 64 technical structure. Star Soldier: Vanishing Earth happens to be the 6th game in the Star Soldier series. This game was released a while after Soldier Blade and Star Parodier for the NEC TurboGrafx 16, aka PC Engine.
Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and see how the N64 version of this game holds up. Let's pop this sucker into the good old N64 and see how it holds up today.
Even though it's a shoot 'em up, there is not too much in particular to comment on the story. Set in the year 2098, you are a lone fighter pilot who are here on a mission to save Earth. And to tell you the truth, it's all in a matter of time during the climax of this game, where you are pitted to fight the final boss, which it is originally run by a computer, where the main target is Earth. Star Soldier: Vanishing Earth on the Nintendo 64 has a nice touch or two, unlike certain other shoot 'em ups you may have played. While it does have the feel of SNES shooters such as Space Megaforce, you are definitely in for a good treat playing this game.
As far as the play control goes in this game, you can use either the D-pad or the analog stick on the controller, but I suggest you to control your ship with the D-pad because it is more simplified with that anyway.
You start the game off with 3 ships to choose from. Depending on what ship you choose, each one has their strengths and weaknesses you should consider before choosing. The blue ship yields lasers and is the most powerful ship you would ever choose. If you choose the red fighter, you will be prone to using Vulcan and Flame Bomb power-ups. Don't even get me started with the green ship. That is the slowest ship in the game, and you get crappy wave beam and shockwave attacks. Speaking of Space Megaforce, the gameplay will somewhat give you a flashback on it. If you don't know already, The Star Soldier games are well known for their unique power-ups, as well as a special time attack mode known as Caravan Mode in other games of the series. Though, you have two versions of the time attack mode. If you finish the 2-minute mode before time expires, you will unlock the 5-minute mode. This part also helps you get prepared for battle, just in case if you are fairly new to the game. Also, word of advice, don't pause the game during this mode of play, because the time will still be ticking if you do. In the original portion of the game, you are treated to 7 stages of relentless, frantic shoot-'em-up action, and you know it's no time to act a fool. It's time to go above and beyond and blast your way to save Earth before it's too late. Boss battles in this game are really frantic. If you make one false move, the window of opportunity narrows to get further, let alone it will bring your shot down grade equivalency downward, especially if you keep continuing the game once the game is over. Here's a tip, you can also bounce back enemy fire if you perform a rolling attack. That will create a barrier so you won't get hit and lose a life. However, that method will not work if you are crashing into other obstacles and or enemies. To do a rolling attack, you will have to tap the R button twice, or double tap the D-pad left or right. There are 2 endings to this game, and it's all about the outcome of how you beat the final boss in its last form. You have to finish him off within a duration of 2 minutes, otherwise you will receive the bad ending. And if I were you, and if there's a certain moment in time where you have to pause the game at this point of the game, do not bother. I repeat, do not bother pausing it. Just like in the 2-minute and 5-minute caravan modes, you have no choice but to continue playing until you finish the boss.
Send my tears for the fulfilled dreams to all the people who live, for the sacrifice of living in the void between the past and the future of this vast universe.
There are also special missions in which you can also go through in this game. I personally never got to them, mainly because I am clueless of what to do to reach that part of the game anyway. Granted, if you were to use a continue, there would be a screen that tells you the hints to reach through, but other than that, I feel confused otherwise. So personally, when I have played this, I was like, forget the secret missions, just go through the main game. To me, I thought it really didn't matter much. So far, for a pseudo 3D vertical shoot 'em up, I have to say that every stage in this game are rendered quite well. Not a single stage in this game will look similar to the previous ones, and for Nintendo 64 standards, Hudson Soft manages to make every environment in this game as best as it can get due to the hardware that it's running on. It may not be groundbreaking, but the design is nowhere near bland and or mediocre. The soundtrack composition is sublime. Synthesized instrumentation for a shmup is at its brilliance in this game. There are numerous tunes in this game that will get you pumped up and driven within an adrenaline rush of gameplay. The music in Stage 4 is where the soundtrack is at its calming state. Despite that, while you're playing the game, you're in for some crazy shit. However, in the final boss battle, you're definitely pumped with the high energy style music because you're in a treat for something that would be epic, especially if you take out the boss, since time definitely won't be on your side in this situation.
Well, Star Soldier Vanishing Earth is a very uncommon title for the Nintendo 64 and it's dirt cheap. Despite that it's pretty short, it's still a rather challenging game anyway. According to sources like IGN, the game was perceived with mixed reviews. One reporter said that this game was short and lacks variety, giving it a score of 5 out of 10. Well, that's their opinion on the game. I may have seen better shmups than this game, but this game is rather enjoyable and you will have replay value here. And on parts of the game, i.e. 2-minute mode or final boss battle, do not dare to pause the game unless your ass is grass. Otherwise, this game is totally radical. Even though Hudson Soft no longer exists due to the fact that they're being dissolved under Konami, it would be a pleasure to see a Star Soldier game on a 3DS, Wii U, and Vita. Konami, I know you're listening. As of now, this is kidThunder signing off. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for future reviews.